Listening to The Sports Nuts.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to another edition. Happy New Year to you and all yours. It's 2026, and this is the year of Ralph Wiliams, RW Media Productions, and the Sports Nuts Network. This is 2026. This is going to be the year that we're going to take things over here and produce. So we have some great programming coming up for you this year and a whole lot more. But we are live on the Sports Nuts Network on YouTube and Facebook. We're also live on Tiger Stripes Media, Pensman Sports, and also on all of my social media platforms, including we are on the Kick Network. We're also on YouTube and Facebook. My Facebook page, the Sports Corner Facebook page, is where we are on live. And you can post your comments as well if you wish to do so. We are live on 95.5 KFCE, Terrell, Texas. We are also on the TigerNation.com, which is in Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. 93.3 in Seattle, DGR. And we're also on the Hawaii Sports Network, Hawaii Sports Radio Network. And I want to say aloha to all of our friends in Hawaii and Happy New Year to everyone in Hawaii as well for listening in, and all across the other radio networks as well. 107.5, The Ticket in Montgomery, Alabama, and AM 610 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also 105.5 The Roar in Easley, South Carolina. We're working on getting on there, and also we're in WGR in Buffalo, New York. So I just want to let everyone know that as well. And also, we are in the following countries: Australia. We're going to start off with our newest one, Australia, which we just picked up before the new year started. We're also in the lower 48, the USA, Hawaii, American Samoa, Iceland, Italy, Dubai, Russia, England, Scotland, Ireland, Japan, Greece, Africa, Finland, Sweden, and many more. And we're going to be getting many more as we move along here on the Sports Nuts Network, the Sports Corner show. We're here every Tuesday, 4 to 5 p.m. right here on the Sports Nuts Network and on all your favorite radio stations across the country, and also on our social media platforms. We're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios here in Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today. Best in dealing with your furnace and also UV lighting and snow melt, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Also, we are sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland, 410-596-1681. The new season is here. Coming up is the new season for 2026 in Ocean City. If you don't want to have to pay a ton of money for your hotel expenses and have to take out a loan, my suggestion to you is to give Mike a call, 410-596-1681, and get a short-term rental. Call Mike today. All right. excuse me, my co-host by phone, Smokin Jim Frazier. How are you, Smokin Jim? Happy New Year.
Hey, happy New Year to you also, Ralph, and I'm ready for this one, buddy.
All right, we have a lot to talk about today. First, we're going to get started with the coaches firings in the NFL. We're going to start off with a few here, and I know there's a couple folks who that this affects because I do know. Okay, we got Mickey Delaney checking in here. First, let's get to what he's. He says, "Hi, Ralph. How are you? I'm good, Mickey. Thank you." That's Mickey Delaney, and then all right, there we are with that. Okay, all right. So, comment section wide open today, and so, all right, Smokin Jim, we got a lot to talk about, including the NFL coaching firing so far. So we're going to get into that in just a second here. As soon as I pop up this what I need to do here. All right. Okay, here we go. I got it. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, here's the following coaches firings, Smokin Jim, and let's get started first with the Arizona Cardinals has fired a head coach, Jonathan Gannon. Your thoughts on this firing?
I'm not surprised at all. How about what say you, Ralph?
They lost 9 in a row. That's all I got to say. And Kyler Murray has regressed, and he is not doing what they need. James Conner was hurt again this year. He's become a mash case. So that's where I go with Arizona. And so he deserved to be fired. It's always about results. This one here kind of shocked me a little bit, but it didn't surprise me. The Raiders fired first-year coach Pete Carroll. I don't think Pete Carroll should even got involved in coaching back again in the NFL. I know he had to bug the coach again. Probably thought he had the right situation. If you talk to some of our colleagues out there, Smokin Jim, they're going to tell you, and some of the national pundits have said, and I quote, that the Geno Smith thing was what got him fired because he brought Geno Smith to the Raiders, and he really didn't do any good. He had to fire Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator, who, of course, as you know, is a college offensive coordinator, more or less, had coached in the NFL with the Eagles. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, you feel bad for Pete. I know coaching is in his blood, and man, the Raiders just bad football team right now, man. They could not establish any type of running game. Geno Smith, he was a sitting duck back there in the pocket, and he just looked like he got old overnight. They had some magic together in Seattle there. So Pete Carroll was confident with his veteran quarterback, and then Kenny Pickett as your backup. They ended up benching. He ended up getting benched on Sunday for O'Connell. So the best thing for Pete Carroll is to just get out of football right now and enjoy his 70s.
Yes, exactly. I agree 100% on that one. But you got some folks, who still have that bug. So, and I'll come up. I'm going to talk with everyone about some rumors out there about different coaches going to different places as well. Giants have retained general manager Joe Schoen. Joe Schoen will be responsible for the new head coach with the Giants. Bunch of names have come up for that job. Also, guess who's available, Smokin Jim? I just found out this morning. Guess who's available out there in the free agent market at quarterback? 2 quarterbacks. And they both played for the Steelers. They both played for the Steelers. Take a guess.
You want me to guess Mitch Trubisky?
No, not Mitch Trubisky. Not Mitch Trubumsky. No.
Kenny Pickett?
Nope. I didn't hear about Pickett yet.
Okay. I'm not a guesser, though.
All right. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Both of them are free agents right now. And I had the privilege on New Year's Eve last Wednesday to see Russell Wilson on TV on ABC's Rockin' New Year's Eve celebration thing there. His wife Sierra sang. I had the privilege of seeing him on national TV. So just to let you know.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. He
Yeah, he
don't have
did.
much rhythm. He don't have much rhythm for a black man, but
Yeah.
he looked
Yeah.
good on TV. But what do you think, Ralph? Do you think maybe Russell Wilson kind of played his way out of the Hall of Fame? Do you think he's still a Hall of Famer?
Well, I think he'll get in the Hall of Fame because he won he went to the Super Bowl. I believe that'll put him in. And he's been in 2 Super Bowls, won one, lost one, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So I think that'll catapult him into the Hall of Fame. But I think he needs to
Okay.
wrap it up too. Just live off his wife's money. You know what I mean? Because he didn't make a lot with the Giants and the Steelers. So I mean, he really doesn't have to. Pensman says hello to both of us. Thank you, Pensman Sports, and who is also monitors my comments as well, and maybe joining us on the show later on. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. He can come up at any time and join the show if he wants. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, so let's get into our fired NFL coaches. All right, and I'm gonna get some updates here on some of the ones that have. Bengals keep Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin, one of the coordinators or coaches. The rest of the staff has been fired. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on that one? Zach Taylor keeps his job
Wow.
with Cincy.
Wow, I'm kind of shocked. Cincinnati was one of the teams this year that was supposed to,
They were supposed to,
maybe win
contender.
the North.
Joe Burrow got hurt again.
They can blame everybody they want to, but when that offense is healthy and they're as good as anybody in the league, they're unstoppable. So I was kind of surprised. And if you want to get rid of 90% of your coaching staff, I don't think you need the head coach.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the Colts did the same thing in some perspective. They told Shane Steichen that he had to get rid of his coordinators. All right, there's a couple teams that did that in this case. All right,
wow.
And so we'll see what goes on there. General manager in Miami was fired. Mike McDaniel got his job saved, but he was supposed to meet with management today. I've not heard anything as of yet as to what happened at that meeting. All right, so we will find out what's going on with that meeting as well. So anyway, and then the Browns, of course, fire Kevin Stefanski. We saw this coming, Smokin' Jim. We knew this was coming sooner or later here. Now I hear that he's up for the offensive coordinator's job, and I don't know why he would take it in Atlanta when they don't have a coach yet, because Atlanta fired Raheem Morris. I think you're putting you know what they say, don't you, Smokin' Jim? You're putting the cart before the horse. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Or the forest before the trees. All right. You can't really, Zillow, one of our steady commenters here, says hello to us there. Hello, Zillow. I want to wish all of you out there a very happy new year, because it's going to be a very happy new year for RW Media Productions and the Sports Nuts. All right. Okay, here we are here. Shane Steichen, I mentioned about him. Mike McDaniel's meeting with management today. Brandon Keeler, who is in charge of the Sports Nuts, of course, our fearless leader here. He has a lot involved. He likes the Atlanta Falcons, follows them, covers them, and he's happy that Raheem Morris has gone bye-byes down in Atlanta. But I'm surprised Atlanta would even hire Kevin Stefanski as an offensive coordinator when, well, wait a minute, you need a head coach. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they got Michael Penix down there Smokin' Jim. They got to do something. They got that lousy Kirk Cousins contract that his agent drew up with that $108 million or whatever the heck it is down there, and all that. So that has to go, and a whole lot more. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Zillow, I was doing some work, but I'm on now. and he's wishing us a happy New Year, despite being many days ahead. There you go. All right, Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on Atlanta and Raheem Morris?
Well, you said that the best I've ever heard anybody from the media say is everybody's not cut out to be a head coach. I never thought he was head coach material. I didn't
No.
think he was at Tampa Bay. I didn't think he was with Atlanta. Your heart goes out to you for these guys that kind of do a pretty good job. They won 4 games in a row, including an upset victory over the Rams.
Yeah, that was
They
the real
tied.
upset. Yes.
They tied for first place in the division with Carolina and Tampa Bay.
Well, that
Um,
division's a mess anyway.
Well,
that division. You know, you could be 8-9 every year, or 9-8, like we talked about before, and still make
well,
the
that's
playoffs.
that's
You know.
well, that's the division that they compete in,
Yeah.
and they're right at the top of the division. And and without I don't know whose call was the draft an often injured college quarterback who's injured all the time in the pros and Penix. And then the contract he was stuck with, I think that they signed Kirk Cousins to that big contract before he even got the job. So, yeah, he really wasn't really given, a chance to be successful. But I never was impressed with him as a head coach.
All right. One other thing: Cliff Kingsbury was released today from the offensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders. He was released today. He was let go. So here we are with that stuff now. So but anyway, but there we are with some of the stuff that's going on right now. I will take care of finding. I'm going to try to find out here, Smokin' Jim, what's going on with the situation with the Browns. Have asked for permission to talk to Todd Moikin, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. The Browns have asked to speak to him as a head coach. I don't know. He was a college coach, but I don't know what he would do in the pros as a head coach. He's been a very good offensive coordinator, but I'm not exactly sure what he would do as an NFL head coach. So let's find out. We'll have to find out later on about that. So, but let's see what's going on in Miami. I'm going to find out right now. Have they decided to I know as I mentioned, they fired the GM, and they're looking for a search. And now I have a report here from AP that says that Miami begins a search for a new GM, Mike McDaniel, to be involved. I don't get that one, Smokin' Jim. Do you? Why is the coach involved in the search for the GM? Explain that to me.
It's shocking that he kept his job. So
Yeah.
he must got pictures. He must got pictures of somebody that's in high places, brother. Just say that.
Okay, here we go. This is from the main event. He says Browns need a leader at head coach. Yes, they do. They do need a leader at head coach. You're exactly correct. They need to start. They need to go out and get a quality coach and get somebody in there. So they said, "Oh man," Zillow said he thought they would find one. Good question though. Why would you have a head coach helping you to try to find a general manager? Now in Miami, that doesn't make any sense, and that's why Miami's where Miami is. So I mean, and that's the bottom line right there. All right, Smokin' Jim. Before we get into Steeler talk, I have the list here of the current status of the number 1 pick for 2026 NFL draft. If I can find it. I had it, but I don't know if I can. It was the Cardinals. Now it's the Raiders. The Raiders are going to be picking number 1 in the draft this year. So where do you think the Raiders go, Smokin' Jim? Depending on the coach they get, where do you think they go?
I think no matter who's the head coach, I think ownership's going to want to take the quarterback from Indiana, Mendoza.
Yeah, I'm already hearing
they
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they need a quarterback, and I don't know if it'll help, but I think that you got to, if you got the first pick overall, you got to take the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, maybe national championship winning quarterback. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, but I think you got to take him.
Yeah, I think if he goes to the if he goes to the national championship, I think the Raiders will take him, and that'll just add to his resume. And I think Indiana is going to go to the national championship. I've been talking about Indiana for a while now, about them going, and I've been on the Kurt Signetti bandwagon, and it proved against Alabama, and it proved against the Ohio State, and he has proved himself that he's a quality coach with a quality team, and I'm hearing now that Atlanta, I just heard a rumor today, but I haven't confirmed it, that now Atlanta wants to talk to Bill Belichick again. All right. Again, they want to talk to Bill Belichick. So let's find out what Atlanta does if they go in that route. His buyout clause with North Carolina is only $1.6 million, Smokin' Jim. So Atlanta can afford to give the University of North Carolina his buyout money. So it's a very easy buyout, if he wants to go there, and so. But anyway, and that's so that's where we are there. All right, Zillow checking in here. Thank you, Zillow, for your comments as always. And the comment section wide open. We're live here on the Sports Nuts Network, all across YouTube, Facebook, and the Twitter X platforms. And we're also on RW Media, or Ralph Williams RW Media Productions platforms on YouTube and Facebook, and Kick and Twitter X. And we're also on the Tiger Stripes Media, and also on Pensman Sports as well. We're all part of the Sports Nuts. Please support like and subscribe. And also don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms as we grow together, and we conquer together, and we grow, and we're going to conquer the sports talk world across the United States and around the country in 2026. It's going to be a very great year for not only the Sports Nuts, but for everyone connected with the Sports Nuts Network as well. But anyway, all right, yeah, but they do have the Las Vegas Raiders here, Smokin' Jim, to pick. They have the number one pick. So I just want to let everyone know that. So that's been confirmed. So all right, Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on everything we have just discussed here. What are your overall thoughts on this?
I don't think it's over. I think there may be another change or two. Maybe one of the teams, or a couple of teams in the playoffs. Maybe they decide to go a different direction with their coach. I'm very surprised Atlanta is showing interest in Bill Belichick, although he does put together a tremendous NFL staff. Maybe they're looking for some stability there. But hey, there's some good young coaches out there. I think David Shula's son is up for either coordinator. Chris Shula is up there.
Clint Kubiak. I heard they're going for Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for Seattle.
For who?
Clint Kubiak. He's his son, Kurt Kubiak's son, Clint, is up for.
Well, I'm talking about David Shula's son.
Oh, Shula, yeah, Shula's son's up too. Yeah. I did hear
that. Kubiak got a son in Seattle doing a good job.
Yeah, so, Clint Kubiak, he's in there. He's down there. So Gary Kubiak, Kubiak's his father. So
these names are starting to recycle a little bit. These kids. I mean, Chris Shula is Don Shula's grandson. So,
right.
So they're just getting generational, man. So anytime you got a Shula, you got to kind of take a chance on him. I thought Mike Shula Did a nice job there for a while and was the head coach of Alabama, but he was a lot better than David Shula. But hey, you know, give these young guys an opportunity. I still think it's teams that's got a short leash on defensive coaches that get a head coaching job. Look at what happened in Atlanta. I'm surprised the Jets retained their coach
Oh,
even
Aaron
after a
Glenn.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you know
you know,
what?
people are
They got egg on their
going
face.
offense.
They got egg on their face hiring him. I mean, they really do. I mean, Rex Ryan offered to come back, but it didn't happen. They could have went in any different direction. They chose Aaron Glenn, and now Justin Fields is out of work. He's out there again, and he regressed. I think if the Steelers
Yeah,
would have kept him, he would have done pretty good this year. I would think another year under his belt. We wouldn't have had to
I
go get
do
Aaron
too.
Rodgers,
Uh,
and Russell Wilson. He regressed and he has regressed. But
yeah.
now the Steelers have Aaron Rodgers, and we're in the playoffs. Playoffs. Remember that one? Playoffs.
Oh yeah, yes sir,
No
yes
one ever
sir.
forgets that. That is one thing
Uh,
that is unforgettable is playoffs. So and Mike Tomlin and the collective will be showing up on us on Monday Night Football to play against the Houston Texans at Acrisure Stadium. Houston Texans are no slouch. They have a good defense. Their offense stinks. They have Davis Mills. He won the last 3 games for Houston. He's no slouch. He's been in the system for a while with Houston. But I think we can beat the Texans, but we just have to move the football on offense a little bit because their defense is real tough. They have a very good defense that have kept some teams in bay. And if it wasn't for their defense, I don't think Houston would even be talking right now about a playoff berth because their offense has regressed. They haven't done anything more than what they need to do. The defense has kept them in games. So as far as Houston goes, Smokin, Jim, your thoughts on this game Sunday night? I know the Steelers won. I will say this. I was part of the play-by-play on the live stream with Pensman Sports. We did it on the Sports Nuts Network. We were on doing the play-by-play. And I got to tell you, it was fun because Pensman sat there and Lube come out to kick the field goal. And he said, wide right. And you're not going to guess who else said wide right. I didn't say it. But Pensman said it. My wife, Rhonda, said it. She said, wide right.
wow,
And she
wow,
said it at the same time that Pensman said it. And it was so freaking
wow.
hilarious. I mean, it was just so funny to hear that, and but anyway, so, but that's exactly what I'm talking about is the wide right. They say the priest who blessed it before the game, blessed the end zone there. Everybody's blaming him. In fact, from what I understand, from what I heard today on Pittsburgh media, was that he's in hiding right now. He's not taking. He's hiding because I guess the Ravens or whatever, they're all upset. And let me tell you this much, Smokin' Jim. Have I said it once and I'll say it again? I said 2 things. The Ravens always manage to screw up against the Steelers. John Harbaugh always manages to do something stupid. And he did it again in this game. And also, it's better to be lucky than good. And the Steelers were lucky this time around. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on this Ravens game?
The Ravens game or the Houston
The
game?
Ravens game. We'll start with that first.
Oh, okay. Great game, man. Steelers got off to a slow start. They were down 10-0. Looked like Derrick Henry was going to run for 300 yards, but Steelers fought back and clawed back and made it close and looked like they won the game. And I was thinking, man, there's still a lot of time left on that clock, 55 seconds. And Lamar Jackson just was able to find holes after holes after holes in the Pittsburgh Steelers zone defense, man, and burned them for another long touchdown. But But hey, like you said, man, Boswell missing that PAT, hurt because the Ravens, instead of tying the game at the end of the game, they could have won the game because of that missed PAT. But I was very surprised to see the young kid. That's when you need Tucker. too bad Tucker can't control himself anymore.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah.
that's when you needed him, man. And hey, it was happy for Stiller Nation, the fans. The terrible towels was going. Everybody stayed in their seat and cheered, and it was just a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it was. And the interesting part about it was Aaron Rodgers did his magic again. He was able to get the ball down the field. We were able to score. And that play to Calvin, pass to Calvin Austin, I never saw. I didn't expect that to happen, and it did. So and it just the running game was working, and so as long as your running game works, you can just about do anything, even if you don't have the right personnel at wide receiver, and you have your tight ends. They got the tight ends involved a little bit, despite the fact Darnell Washington was still hurt, and he's done for the year. But we have DK Metcalf coming back in this game, and I think I'm telling you, I think we're going to win this game. And it'll be the first time since 2016 that we won a playoff game under Mike Tomlin. That's how long it's been since the Steelers have won a playoff game. So we'll see. Aaron Rodgers at the helm. I have confidence in the fact that perhaps, what you always say, Smokin' Jim, you peak at the right time. And I think right now, the Steelers are peaking right now. I think this is their time. I think they realize what they're up against. They should have beat Cleveland last week. Then they wouldn't have had to worry about any of this stuff. But, some of that stuff happens. And, so. All right. Mickey Delaney says, what about the 49 not have no more timeouts in the – yes, exactly. Exactly. No more timeouts left. And fourth down. And, I said this before. I'll say it again. John Harbaugh, for some strange reason, always screws up against the Steelers. He makes bad coaching decisions, and it's just amazing, what had happened. The second half, the Steelers were able to shut down Derrick Henry, and I was actually quite surprised. All right, let's go into the Houston Texans here. They have some weapons. Davis Mills is not a bad backup quarterback. He's not a great one, but he's won 3 games in a row here. Maybe we could shut this guy down. We'll see what the Steelers do this week, or are the Steelers going to do what they normally do and let a fifth-string running back or whomever, because Nick Chubb is hurt again, which I'm actually kind of glad the Steelers didn't take him. I wanted Nick Chubb, but, he's hurt again. So what had happened was, I don't, I'm not real familiar with the Texans because I didn't watch much of them this year. I do know they have some good defensive players, but what do you think, Smokin' Jim? Can the Steelers pull it off this week? And I know what your score is going to be, so I'm not even going to say it.
Well, I'm already looking past this game to the Denver Broncos, Mile High Stadium, or I'm scouting the next week. Steelers are 23-0 on Monday Night Football home games. You're not going to lose on Monday Night Football. No. I mean, they threw the Pittsburgh Steelers a softball. Like you said, the Houston Oilers or the Houston Texans or the Houston Gamblers, whoever they are, good defense. Got some limits on offense. Stroud is a good young quarterback, but hey, you're playing Pittsburgh Steelers on national TV with the world watching on Monday Night Football at Acrisure Stadium. It's a done deal. It's just a matter of how many points the Pittsburgh Steelers win, not if they're going to win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, Smokin' Jim. I think the Steelers are going to win this game, and I'm going to do what you do. You say 34-32. I'm going to say 24-21 on a last-minute field goal by Boswell. So there you go. That's what I'm going to say. So we'll see what happens this week. That's all I can say. All right, Smokin' Jim. Let's get into. In fact, I wanted to get back to that draft class. I wanted to. I know, and I had mentioned that the Raiders were number one on the clock. But if you go down the list here, you not only have the Raiders, the Arizona Cardinals slipped to number 3. Number 2 is the New York Jets at 3-14. The prediction is that they're going to take Dante Moore. Now, I saw Dante Moore in a mock draft. The Steelers taking him. Do you see him falling to the Steelers, or do you see the Jets taking Dante Moore here from Oregon in the second pick of the draft?
Well, I'd be surprised if he come out. There's still a chance he may stay at Oregon for another year. I think he needs another year of college. He could use another year of college. I think that in years past, a guy like him would come out because, you can't make no money in college. All the money's in the NFL. But now with the NIL, he's probably making more money in college than he would make on his first year rookie deal. So I'm not 100% sure. If I had to make a guess, and if I had to give him advice, I would tell Dante Moore to stay another year at Oregon.
Yeah, absolutely. In the Arizona Cardinals, they have Francis Mayorga from Miami, offensive tackle. They picked number 3 in the draft. 3-14, the Arizona Cardinals. They need help on the line. They need help at quarterback as well. Kyler Murray's going to walk. That's the prediction. He's gonna go. I don't see Arizona paying him. They're going to either trade him or do something with him. Tennessee Titans pick at number 4. They don't have a head coach yet. Rumor has it that Matt Nagy has interviewed for that job, and a few other guys are interviewing for that job as well in Tennessee. That's a dumpster fire. I don't know if I'd want that job either, as well as Cleveland. The New York Giants are 4-13. They're going to pick, according to this mock draft from ESPN, they're going to pick Carnell Tate, wide receiver from Ohio State. That'll help Jackson Dart. That'll give him another weapon to mess with, and along with Scadaboo, who you said was going to be a good player. And why the Steelers didn't try to get him, I don't know. So there you go. Why did Ralph Williams leave Pittsburgh? He was a staple there. Well, I got to tell you why I left Pittsburgh. I have 10 reasons why. Watch my Ralph's Opinion show on my archive version on my YouTube channel from 5/15 of 2025. Watch that show, and that'll tell you the top 10 reasons why I left. One of them is because I got tired of being treated by the Pittsburgh media, radio media, except for 1250 The Answer, like a redheaded stepchild. I'm just as good as anybody else in that town, and they got people on the radio there that don't deserve to be on the radio, that have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're saying, and they talk about what I don't even want to go there, what they talk about, okay? Oh, hey, Smokin' Jim, what are you having for dinner tonight? That's what they talk about. It's supposed to be a sports show. We're having for dinner tonight, Smokin' Jim. Smokin' Jim, where are you going after the shift's over tonight? Where are you going? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But there was several other reasons, and you need to look at that show, Ralph's Opinion, on my YouTube channel. By the way, speaking of Ralph's Opinion, the return of Ralph's Opinion is tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. on my YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and also on the Kick Network as well. We're back tomorrow at 7:30. It's just going to be called Ralph's Opinion. I eliminated the way I see it. We're still going to do 2 different half hours, 2 shows, two kind of shows, one, just 1 hour, but we just condensed it to Ralph's Opinion. So just to let everyone know that. And Zillow says exactly. All right. Yeah, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I left Pittsburgh, but there are several other reasons. My health is better down where I am now than it was up there. And, I'm not going to go into it here because we're talking sports here, and I'm not going to go into that. But I will tell you, media-wise, I was treated like a redheaded stepchild. I can't get credentials to pick games. I couldn't get credentials to Steeler games. Pirates gave me all kinds of problems. But they give everybody else who were lower bracket than Smokin Jim and I, they were giving them media credentials, but they weren't giving them to me. And again, as I said, I was being treated like a redheaded stepchild, and I'm done. I'm done. All right. I'll do my own thing. I get treated better in some other places than I did in Pittsburgh with the media, as far as some of the other media goes. 1250 The Answer, I will give them credit. They have treated me very well. As you know, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. On 1250 The Answer. Don't forget, is the Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Smokin Jim, Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree. Don't forget to tune into that. 92.5 on the FM dial and 1250. The answer, pgh.com is the website to also tune into the Sports Corner radio show. We're going to break down the Ravens game, talk about the Houston Texans game, and get into these coaching firings and a whole lot more coming up as well. All right, Smokin Jim, we got about 10 minutes left in the show before we got to get ready for Wrestle Talk. As you know, we always cut out early here so we can get ready for Wrestle Talk. But I wanted to ask you your question real quick. Your thoughts on the Pitt Penn State bowl games. Pitt blew it against East Carolina. They had opportunities and they blew it. Pat Narduzzi's coaching staff and players have started to leave. A lot of guys left for the transfer portal. Desmond Reed left for the NFL. Kyle Lewis left for the NFL. And I was surprised Kenny Johnson bailed out and got out. What are we looking at here, Smokin Jim? Are we looking at the fact that players are just disgusted because they're losing bowl games, or are they disgusted with Narduzzi, or do they see something that we don't see down there? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, Narduzzi's not a bad recruiter. Even though he doesn't recruit locally, he recruits pretty good defensive players, but it's a recruiting class that's maybe only good once every 3 or 4 years, and they had their fourth year. This was their opportunity this year. This was the best record they had since Kenny Pickett's 7th year, wherever he played down there. So they're always going to be just a run-of-the-mill team. They're always going to be, just so good. Can't get over the hump, lose people, get people in the portal. I think it was an embarrassment for them to lose to East Carolina. East Carolina didn't play anybody. They played a true freshman quarterback. Because the starting quarterback set out, some of their better receivers set out. They didn't want to get injured for the NFL, so they really played a bad East Carolina team and could not defeat them. And but that's not going to set the program back. Pitt doesn't get the attendance that other schools get, so Narduzzi and those guys, they go to the Midwest or whatever they recruit these guys from. They're sure not recruiting them in their backyard, and they bring them in, and hopefully they get them in a weight room, get them strong, and every 3-4 years, take a run at the ACC title.
We haven't heard anything yet. We're 2 days into the start of the new season. I mean, I'm talking about the new year here. I haven't heard anything yet, any inklings of Narduzzi going anywhere this year. I thought maybe perhaps these coaches bailing out and getting out, and some of these players getting out, that perhaps maybe they see something we don't see, which is Narduzzi going to get fired? That's my question here. So far, we're 2 days into the new year, the official new year starting up. And what I mean by that is the business year. I mean, it started Monday. Everybody's back from their New Year's and Christmas vacations and holidays and all that stuff. It's time to get the business of America started. And that's when football and all that off season starts. And I'm just wondering if whether or not that's going to be the situation. Is he going to get fired? Do we still have to wait? What's going to happen? Thank you, Pensman. Like and subscribe, as I mentioned earlier. And Harbaugh is still the coach of the Ravens. Yeah, I heard that. I guess he had a meeting, I guess, with ownership today. He might be losing Pensman. If you heard earlier, his offensive coordinator, Todd Muskin, is up for an interview. So we're going to find out where he goes. He's up for a couple interviews. Some people want to talk to him. So we'll see. Tennessee stuck with Cam Ward. They're going to need an offensive-minded coach there. We're going to have to see. You got but Smokin' Jim, you were talking earlier about Denver. We'll talk about Denver in a minute here. Let's go into Penn State. Terry Smith, I'm very proud of the fact that he had a winning season this year, and they went into their bowl game, and they beat Clemson, a very good, well, not a good Clemson team. Clemson has sort of regressed the last couple of years, but a good coach in Dabu Sweeney. Terry Smith and the boys went in there, and they won. Your thoughts on Penn State and new coach Matt Campbell?
Yeah, not only did they win, but they won without the top two rushing leaders in Penn State history. They decided to sit out the bowl game to get ready for the NFL draft, and so they went with like freshman running backs, and they ran the ball good. Hey, listen, Terry Smith showed how you handle yourself in the midst of adversity. You know what I mean? No, two things you can control in life is your actions and your attitude. And Terry Smith handled that well. I thought he should have got the head coaching job at Penn State. He didn't get it, but he handled the situation with class, because the bottom line is it's not about the coaches. It's not about the fans. It's about those players. They get 4 years to play college football, and life is about the memories that you make. And those young men have, thanks to Terry Smith and that 4-game winning streak in the bowl game, they got a lifetime full of memories. And I think more coaches should put the emphasis off themselves. Chuck Noll was great for that. Chuck Noll never gave interviews. He never did endorsements. He never did commercials.
Didn't even do a press conference. Never even did a press conference.
He said give the commercials and endorsements to the players, and that's the kind of coach that I love. That I would never have been. I would have been like Mike Dick. I'd have took every commercial that was available. Me and Mike Dick would have been chunky soup together.
There you go.
But you got to give Terry Smith and Chuck Noll and those kind of guys. And speaking of Chuck Noll, congratulations to Iron Mike Tomlin for tying Chuck Noll for most wins by Steeler coach in Steeler history, 193.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So, all right. Pensman says that Ravens coach John Harbaugh, I misread the comment. He said he should have been fired. You think he should have been fired, or do you think John Harbaugh should stay on with the Ravens? What do you think, Smokin' Jim? You're the GM.
Well, sometimes it's better that the bear that you know than the bear that you don't know. So Harbaugh, we know he knows football. We know he loves football. We know he won a couple Super Bowl championships with the Ravens. And man, you take a look around the league sometimes, man. Some of these teams, man, that were great. They made coaching changes, and they never was able to come back up again. So Harbaugh is like a Mike Tomlin. He's going to probably give you a winning season every year, and every once in a while make that run. I never thought much of Lamar Jackson. I thought that they might have won another Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. Lamar is exciting. He's fun to watch, this, that, and the other thing. But he's just not a winning quarterback. And exciting quarterback, regular season quarterback. and now he's had a couple opportunities to stand up in the press conference for his coach, and he wouldn't do it. This is a guy that gave him an opportunity. I don't think nobody else would have gave him. I don't think anybody else would have set a Super Bowl
Exactly.
winning coach in
Right.
Flacco
Exactly. Right.
for a rookie like Lamar Jackson. And I think it's at some point you got to show a little loyalty, even if it's tongue in cheek, to the man that gave you an opportunity. You'll never hear me say anything bad about Ralph Williams because Ralph gave me an opportunity when he didn't have to. He could have went a different direction. So I'm not going to badmouth you. That's what loyalty is all about.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
You just
Yeah.
people give you don't forget. There was an old thing that they said somebody had one dime left, right, or a quarter left, and you had to use the quarter to use the stall. And somebody came out the bathroom, out the stall, so the person didn't have to use the quarter. End up playing the slots, won $1 million, and they says, "Man, I know you're happy you had that quarter." He says, "No, I'm happy for the guy that gave me an opportunity to use the bathroom where I didn't have to use that quarter." You know
There
what I
you go.
mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's who, he said. That's who I wish I.
Yeah, I
That's
like
who
that
I
one.
wish I could
Yeah, that's a good
find.
one.
Yeah, that's who I wish
Absolutely.
I could find. Because if it wasn't for that guy, he wouldn't have had the quarter to win that million. So yeah, you sometimes you just got to stay. It's a little thing. Like a guy, I don't want to mention his name, Nick Callis. Bill Neal got him the job with 93.7 a fan. He never would have got that job.
Yeah.
And Bill Neal asked him to write him a thank you letter, and he would never do it. It took all of 30 seconds to do, but he
Yeah.
would not do it. Somebody that gave him an opportunity when he had no money, he had no career, he had nothing going for him. But hey, you see what happens. So
Mike says, "Who are the Panthers?" Well, there's the Carolina Panthers and there's the Pitt Panthers. So the Pitt Panthers are the local college team in Pittsburgh that play at Acrisure Stadium, and the Carolina Panthers, they play in Charlotte, and they're going to the playoffs at 8-9. So I just want to let everyone know that as well. They're going to the playoffs at 8-9. So just to let
and
everyone
they
know
get a
that.
home game.
Yeah.
And they get a home
And
game,
they get a
right,
home
bro?
game. Exactly. Yes, they get a home game too. Hey, what was it? Tampa Bay went, what was it, a year or so ago? 9-8 or something. They went to a playoff game. Yeah, they
I
ended up
think you're
they ended
right.
up beating Detroit. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, with your buddy
Oh
Baker
wow!
Mayfield. Yeah. Yeah, they
Like
beat
you said
Detroit at
that,
home.
like you said that division, you can go 8-9 and win the whole division. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, Mike said he was joking. Pitt had a good run this season. Yeah, they did. Narduzzi took and decided to change quarterbacks. Which he should have went with Heitzel from the beginning, because I had heard that him and Cade Bell got into an argument over this. Cade Bell wanted him to be the starting quarterback, and Narduzzi, despite the fact Eli Holstein had a bad spring and a bad offseason and a bad everything, despite that fact, that Heitzel was ahead of him, he still went with Eli Holstein, and
wow.
that was and I'm wondering if the relationship, they already moved up somebody on the defensive staff to be defensive coordinator. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a yes man kind of thing, because Randy Bates was a really good defensive coordinator, and they moved somebody up. They lost their special teams coach. I heard they're interviewing a couple guys, and they've lost a bunch of guys. About 4 coaches, I believe. So rookie quarterback too. Impressive as a rookie, yes, very much so. Impressive as a freshman, Mike. Yes, he was. And he's going to stay with the team. So from what I understand, despite the fact he's going to lose Desmond Reed, which to me, at this point is really no loss. He's been nothing but a mash case. He hasn't played very much. I mean, no, I'm serious. I mean, I'm just telling it like it is. I mean, he's a mash case. He's in the tub too much. A concussion here, in the tub there, and can't help the club if you're in the tub. I don't. The only way I see him making it in the NFL, Smokin' Jim, is as a kick and punt returner. If he makes that, you know what I mean, or a third or fourth back out of the backfield, somebody that can catch and run, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing anything else because he's too small. He's strong, but he's just too small. And one other thing Pitt has to clean up on too, Smokin' Jim, they got to get bigger guys up front. They got dominated in a line of scrimmage by some good football teams this year. I heard a lot of their guys were under 300 pounds. They need to get guys who are bigger. If you're going to run the football, you need to get guys bigger in the trenches. You can't have guys, and I know they're trying to run that. And Pensman said exactly. Thank you. And I get they're trying to run that go offense, which requires speed. They still don't have it the way it should be run. There's still flaws in that system. They can't they can't get the ball snapped fast enough. They can't get to the line of scrimmage fast enough. They can't get the play in fast enough. And Smokin' Jim, how about Aaron Rodgers? Couldn't hear Arthur Smith, which I wouldn't want to hear Arthur Smith to begin with, through his helmet, and had to change helmets a couple different times. How about that one on Sunday night? My gosh.
I've never seen that before, especially at home.
Yeah.
That's usually something Belichick and them to away teams, man.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'd be pulling out my Green Bay playbook. I'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm calling the plays here. I can't. The offensive coordinator's not answering me. I'm calling the plays. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, all right. Pensman says waiting 2 weeks. 2 weeks also. All right. Wasting 2 timeouts also. Yeah, exactly. The Ravens, they beat themselves on Sunday night. They really did. They beat themselves, Pensman. And, it was a pleasure being on with you doing some of the game. And it was he did the play-by-play. I did the color part of it. And we're going to continue to be doing that stuff coming up. All right, Smokin' Jim, final thoughts before we wrap this up, and we're going to get into our Wrestle Talk coming up.
Hey, man, great show. Like you said, man, and we've said many a times, it depends when you get hot. You can't win 10 games until you win 9 games, and you can't win the Super Bowl if you don't make the playoffs, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are there. They get a home game, so the Rooney is happy. He's making some money. The fans are happy. The NFL did them a favor by giving the Pittsburgh Steelers a Monday night game, and those egos are going to run wild. And I tell you what, Ralph, I don't know how you feel about it, and I'll just be quick about it. Maybe we can talk about it next week. I never thought Cam Hayward was a Hall of Famer.
No,
especially after he left Monroeville the way he did. But I tell you what, man, he showed me something on this past game against the Ravens. Man, he played his heart out. He played his butt out.
Yeah.
And I think the douche push put him over the top.
I saw that one
for the Hall of Fame. So
I
think if he plays one more season, I think Cam's going to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I believe that to be the case too. And I want to say this as well. He came out and said when they went in the halftime, I'll take personal responsibility for Derrick Henry in the second half. And you see, he shut him down. You saw that. He actually personally said, I will take responsibility for Derrick Henry in the second half. And
did you see that? Did you see when he ran all the way downfield to try to make the tackle on Derrick Henry on that long run?
Yes, I did.
And his own man took him out.
Yeah.
Cam's own player took him out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he was. But the tush push was the funny part too. That was hilarious to see him doing that.
I love it.
Yeah, it was interesting. But you're right. He's come around this season, and he deflected some passes. He was involved in tackles. He had a game.
Yeah.
He had a game. Watt didn't do too bad. I thought Watt did pretty good in the game too.
That 4 hour patch on his lung held out.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah,
looked like he lost a little weight, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know what? When you get surgery like that, you lose weight. I mean, that's you lose a lot of weight when you get surgery. All right, Smokin' Jim, it's time to wrap it up here. We got to get going here. We got Wrestle Talk coming up at 5:00. For everyone who tuned in today, thank you for tuning into the Sports Corner Show. We'll see you next Tuesday. And until next Tuesday, have yourself a great day. Coming up next is Wrestle Talk. Coming up shortly. Stay tuned.